We have something new and exciting to install, and we wanted to bring you along with us so you can see an installation from start to finish. As boat owners, we all like a good upgrade from time to time to keep our boat fresh and exciting, and that's what we're planning to do here for Furuno One. When we first bought our boat new in 2023, it came with a set of basic underwater lights installed at the boat factory. They worked well enough, but they weren't very bright and the colors are not controllable, and I really couldn't stand that. We needed to change that. Here at Furuno, we do a lot of night testing and travel to many local boat shows using Furuno One as our demo boat. So we wanted to find a set of underwater lights that gave us the brilliance we're looking for, as well as providing a way to show the powerful control of Furuno's Command Center, a feature built into all of Furuno's TZT3 and TZTXL MFDs. These new underwater lights we picked out for our upgrade will do just that. While at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show last year, I met up with the guys from Ocean LED, one of the longest standing and most respected names of marine light companies in the business. They helped me pick out a light setup that will give us everything we hope to do with this upgrade project. But before we get started on the actual installation, let's go over our new Ocean LED underwater light package. On the table in front of me, we have the full underwater light package we picked out with the help of Ocean LED. We told them what we were trying to accomplish, and they worked with me to ensure we got everything we needed to take our underwater lighting to the next level of performance. Starting out, we have 3 of Ocean LED Sport Color DMX lights. These lights provide a full spectrum of colors we can choose from instantly. Not only that, each light offers 3,500 fixture lumens, are IP69 rated, and just holding them, you can literally feel the quality that Ocean LED builds into each of these lights. Each light offers a 90-degree surface beam as well as a 20-degree side-to-side beam. What that means for us is with these 3 lights installed on our boat, we're going to be able to light up a very large area. These 3 lights will go to the Ocean LED DMX junction box that I'll be installing near the rear of the boat. This will keep my wire runs between the lights and the junction boxes short, allowing me to keep everything nice and neat. Each junction box can support 2 lights, so I'll be installing 2 of these DMX junction boxes with 2 lights going to the port side box and 1 light going to the starboard side box. The brains of the operation is Ocean LED's Ocean Bridge Gateway, and boy does this thing offer a lot of control. Most importantly, the Ocean Bridge is an HTML5 server that puts full control of these 3 new lights on our boat's Ethernet network, allowing them to be controlled by any one of the 3 TZTXL MFDs on board Furuno One using Furuno's Command Center. By adding an Ocean Bridge to our system, we'll have full control of all the light colors, all of the scenes, all of the setups, the music, the flashing, anything you want to do, right at the tip of our fingers. Having the right underwater lights also gives us new possibilities to raise fish to the surface. So not only will adding these awesome new Ocean LED lights make our boat look better, they'll also give us more opportunity to catch more fish. I'll call that a win-win. For now though, it's time to start the physical part, the installation. Let me show you what that entails before we drill the first hole or run the first wire. Okay, now that we've talked about what we will be installing, let's talk about how we're going to go about installing it. So for me, my current plan of attack is this. I plan on starting with getting the 3 underwater lights installed. Reason being is a couple of things happening back there. First off, as we talked about earlier, I currently have 2 underwater lights I'll be taking off. Right now, I don't know what size the penetration hole is on those versus what size the penetration hole is going to be on these new Ocean LED Sport Color lights. So I need to find that out. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. I'll pop off the port and starboard light, and we'll make our plan of attack there. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we only have 2 current lights. So installing the center light is going to be a complete new installation. So as you know, they're underwater lights. They have to be sealed. I plan on using 3M 4200. So it shouldn't take too long for the sealant to set up and get ready. But I just figured I'd start with the lights to let that sealant get done and get set up. After that, I'll go ahead and move into the boat, and I'll be working at the very back of the boat getting these 2 Ocean LED DMX junction boxes installed. And in the tidewater, the bilge is pretty tall, especially in the back of the boat. So I plan on putting these 2 boxes high up in the bilge to keep them away from any potential water. They are sealed nicely anyway, but I'm still going to put them as high as possible. But the reason I'm putting them all the way in the back of the boat is it will keep my 3 light runs to them very short. Since we use this boat as a demo boat, we want everything to look absolutely pristine and perfect. You know, for when people come to look at it, we want to do a good job in everything we do. And making things look good is an important way of getting that done. So I'll get these 2 installed in the back of the boat. One will go on the port side, one will go on the starboard side. And just so you guys know, one of the things we do have to do while working on these boxes is each one of these DMX boxes require a 12-volt run to each box. Okay, so we got to run two 12-volt wires out back. Now, the Sport Color DMX lights, because they do produce 3,500 lumens, draw about 5 amps at maximum brilliance. So our port side box, which is going to have the port light and the center light going to it, is going to be able to draw about 10 amps. And the starboard side box with one light, obviously just 5 amps. So I plan on running in core 12.2. And the distance of the run to my 12-volt feed is about 14 or 15 feet, so 12.2 should be just about fine. The other thing I need to point out about these Ocean LED junction boxes is the reason there's two boxes, each box can handle 2 lights. So we're doing a 3-light system. The port and center light will go to one box, starboard light will go to the starboard side box. That's why there's 2 boxes. Once we get the DMX boxes installed, I'll go ahead and move into the center console where things will get a little bit easier for me. Reason being is I already have a large network set up in there that has a lot of open ports for me, which will allow my cable runs to be short up there. And that's where I'm going to put the Ocean LED Ocean Bridge. And this is the HTML5 server that will connect it to my Ethernet network on board, which will give me full control of the 3 TZT16Xs. Well, 2 TZT16Xs and 1 TZT24X I have on the very back of the boat. I'll be able to control these lights completely from any one of those 3 displays using Furuno's Command Center. So, once I get the Ocean LED Ocean Bridge installed inside the center console, it's a nice easy connection. Ocean LED thought ahead. Because it's an HTML5 server, it doesn't draw much current at all. So they put an NMEA 2000 connector on it. We can drop this right into our NMEA 2000 backbone to get power. The other cable coming out of it is going to be an Ethernet cable, and my Furuno Hub 102, or actually I have multiple Furuno Hub 102s on Furuno One. They are all located inside of the center console as well, so that's going to give me a nice short, maybe 3-foot Ethernet cable run to get it over to the closest Hub 102. Some other things we could set up, and I might do or might not do, you can connect audio connections so the lights will flash to the sound of your music, but you can do that via Bluetooth too, so I'm not sure if I'm going to connect the audio connection or not. That's something we'll see. That leaves me with one cable left that I have to run, and that is the DMX cable from the Ocean LED Ocean Bridge Gateway back to either one of the Ocean LED DMX junction boxes. Now I can pick either one because DMX is just a lighting protocol, okay? And it is able to be daisy chained. So my plan is I'm going to run the DMX cable out of the Ocean Bridge, bring it back to the port side DMX box, and what happens once I get it there, just show you guys a quick look, if I can get this thing opened easily. Okay, so it's a straight, nice and easy install. We have our main power coming in, we have our DMX coming in. This will come from the Ocean Bridge Gateway. And then we have a DMX out. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take a very short DMX cable and go from the output of the port side box over to the input of the starboard side box. From there, your only other 2 connections are your light connections. And essentially the port light will go here, the center light will go here, and then inside of my starboard box, the starboard light will go there. Once that's all hooked up, and it's all nice and easy to do because they got Wago terminals built in right inside of the boxes, so that'll be nice and easy. But as you guys know, the hardest thing about installations is always the wire runs. Getting them through your bilge, getting them through your top, wherever they got to go. For us, we'll be working in the bilge. So now that we know what we're installing and how we're installing it, time to get the dirty work done. Let's head back out to Furuno One and get this installation started. Okay guys, we're back at the boat looking at our first light, this port side light. As you see how small it is in comparison to my hand. We're going to change out to those Ocean LEDs, get some much bigger, brighter lights on here. So we know these are going to be sealed. Probably going to be quite tight if the sealing was done properly. There's a couple of different ways you can attack this. So one of the old school methods is, a long time ago we used to use piano wire, but now with all these fancy new fishing lines, you can wear gloves when you're doing it though. But you can get it behind the silicone after you take the screws out, of course, and just work your way through it just like you're flossing your teeth. You can go the old school method and try to get behind it and just peel it away. But if you haven't tried this yet, and I'm not here to do any commercial advertising, but I had to use this for a friend's boat recently when he had a transducer issue and he had installed his transducer with 5200. So this is called D-Bond, or it's by D-Bond Corp. And it costs about $35 for this small bottle, but the bottle does last a long time and it just eats right through sealants. especially 5200. So we did successfully get his transducer out, just so you know. So you just spray it down with this. It eats through the sealant, and we call that working smarter and not harder. So I don't know which of the three I'm going to use on this yet, having not taken either of these lights off. I don't know how well they're sealed. I don't know what they used for sealant. I'm hoping it's something like Life Caulk or Sikaflex or 4200. I do hope it's not 5200. But one way or another, we will get through it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the screws out. And I'll be back with you guys as soon as we get the screws out and see where we go from there. Okay, guys, the lights are out. But we're going to face our first problem. Looks like they used 4200, I believe. It was pretty hard to get off, but not impossible. The D-bond did work. I'm going to use it to clean up this hole once I get the next problem solved, which is this. They left no extra wire. So let's go inside and take a look, and I'll show you, like we talked about in the video, where the junction boxes are going to be installed. I'm going to have to run the lights too, so if we look, this is the hole we're going to have to get into, because this is where everything's going to come through. Unfortunately, the lights are installed on the other side of that bulkhead. So we look very closely there at that white circle. That is the wires coming through the bulkhead for the light. There is no extra wire whatsoever. They didn't leave a service loop or anything. So ultimately what I'm going to have to do is cut the wire from the inside the boat. And then what I'll do is I'll run my pool cable from inside to outside. I don't see any other way of doing it. So let me get that started, and I'll let you guys know how that turned out. Okay, guys, so as you can see, pool cable's out on both sides. Wasn't too awful bad. After the pool cable got through on both sides, what I did was I took a little bit of acetone and a Scotch-Brite pad, and I got this cleaned up. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, before moving on to installing the center light, because the center light is a new installation for us, so that's going to be a little bit easier. But the Ocean LED light is quite a bit bigger than the light we took off. I'll do a direct comparison in a little bit once I get the Ocean LED lights back here. So what I'm going to do is, because I'll never use these three holes again on either light, I'm going to just drill this out a tiny bit. I want to make sure I get rid of all of the sealant that's inside of those holes. Then before I go home today, I'm going to mix up some West System with a thickener, and I'm going to inject it into all three of these holes. Because like I said, we're never going to use them again. If you leave holes like that open, that's how boats become waterlogged, and that's why, you often get a heavy transom. So the best thing you can do, if we know we're never going to use these holes again, no use even putting sealant in them. West System with a thickener, they make little injectors. We'll just inject it right in. We come in tomorrow, we'll sand it flat, and it'll be perfect like the brand new surface. And okay, let me go get some West System, and we'll start on that. I'll make sure that gets done before I leave, and then we'll move on to installing the center light, because like I said, that's going to be a new installation because we never had a light there in the center before. So we'll just follow Ocean LED's instructions and get that part done. Okay, guys, so the West System set up overnight. Everything looks perfect. All the holes are filled in from the original lights. So this morning, what I'm going to do is I got the new Ocean LED lights back here. I have not ran the cables yet. I just got them started. I'll put them into the hole. So I'm going to get all the cables pulled through this morning, and then what we'll do is, once the cables are pulled through, I'll go ahead and drill my new holes, because like I said, the Ocean LED lights are much bigger, so it's going to require 3 new holes. That's why I wanted to seal up the old holes from the last set of lights. And then what we'll do is we'll move over here and get the template done for the third light we'll be installing, which is a new installation for us. And I just want to let you guys know, anytime you're drilling a hole on a boat, please make sure you know what's on the other side. So while I haven't drilled any of these holes yet, I have worked in the back of the boat before, and what I do know is right on the other side of the transom is our 2 bilge pumps, and I can tell you that the wires to those bilge pumps run right up along the back of the transom. So I'll show you this once we get inside the boat, because that's the same area we're going to mount the DMX junction boxes we talked about earlier in the opening. So what I did was I just stuck a 2x4 in there just to distance the power wires going to the bilge pumps away from the transom. I'll go ahead and drill my holes, get this third light ran, and then we'll start working on the inside. But that's where we're going to go from here. I'm going to throw up a GoPro and just record what I'm doing, and we'll speed right through that process just so you guys can see. Okay guys, all the lights are done and installed. This is starboard. There's the center light. And there's the port light. So when you look at the previous video, the one that we sped through showing how this was done, you probably saw that I ran into a problem on the port light. So when I put it in, even though I did previously dry fit it, what they have is, because they originally had lights here, what they did was they poked a hole in the transom and then made it immediate right to head up inside the bilge. So the Ocean LED cables were a little bit longer, I guess where they come out of the back of the unit. So I had a little bit of trouble with that. So I didn't want to force anything. So ultimately what I did was, as you probably saw in the video, even though it was fast, I pulled everything back out, including the pull cable. I drilled it to the 1/2-inch spec that Ocean LED called for, which I should have did in the first place. I measured the holes. They looked like they were 1/2 inch. The starboard side light, which I did first, went in with no problem at all. So I expected the port side too, because it was done at the same time by the same company originally at the boat factory. But for some odd reason, the port side light wouldn't go in. Didn't want to force anything, so I just took everything back apart, drilled a 1/2-inch hole, and then the second time everything ran through quite well. And now the 4200 is done. I didn't want to video the cleanup because anyone who's worked with 4200 before knows that it is a fantastic product, but boy, is it messy to clean up. So anyway, the cleanup is done. Everything looks good. And now we will move inside the boat and start connecting these lights to the Ocean LED DMX junction boxes. Okay guys, as you can see, all 3 cables from the 3 lights are ran through the transom, and I fished them up through. So we're looking at the boat in the opposite direction. We're looking off the transom of the boat. So what my plan is, hard as I tried, I can't get down in this hole with a camera. I can barely fit, and it's hard to move. So if you look at where my finger's pointing, I'm thinking I'm going to put the port side unit right there and the starboard side unit right above that cable run. And that's where I'm going to get my lights tied into. Like I said, the center Ocean LED power cable for the light is going to come over to the port side. That's the current plan. If it runs better to the starboard, I'll go to the starboard side, but it doesn't really matter. Each of these boxes can take 2 lights each, so it doesn't really matter which side I go to. As much as I've been avoiding it, I'm going to crawl down in this hole and try to get these 2 DMX boxes mounted. But I do plan on leaving a service loop, unlike the boat builder left for me. So I'm hoping I can do the wiring outside of the bilge, and I'll have enough cable that I can just tie up. So I can do all the work getting the terminations done outside here, and then just have all the screw holes done in advance. That way I can just drop it down into place, get the wires tied down inside of these boxes nice and securely, get everything sealed up, and then we can move on to the Ocean Bridge Gateway. So let's see where we go from here. Okay, so as I was driving home last night, I decided, as we talked about yesterday, we have our 3 lights back here now. So they're ready to be wired up to the DMX junction boxes. But I figured if I was going to get in the hole before I do any of that, I'm going to go ahead and pull the DMX cable back from the Ocean Bridge Gateway along with the 2 power wires. That way, once I get in the hole, I can just wire everything up and be done in there and make it a 1-hole trip. So what I did this morning, as soon as I came in, I got my 12-2 wires ready to pull, and I got my DMX cable ready to pull. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them to the back of the boat. That's going to be the next step. Zoom in right there. Got a nice small hole to work with. And just a quick reminder, as you see, there's my pull cable that was existing. Anytime you're going to pull a cable on a boat, make sure you replace the pull cable you're pulling with a new pull cable. That way, when you go to do your next project, you have a pull cable already in place. Okay, I'm going to work on getting those pulled through, and I'll report back as soon as we get them to the back. All right, guys, so for some odd reason unknown to me, that cable pull of those 3 cables, the 2 12-2 power cables and the DMX cable from the center console back, went exceptionally well. So now I'm a little nervous about why it went so well, right? You know, things don't usually pull through so easily on a boat. So I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop. But that cable pull went perfectly. So now both 12-2s are back here, one going to port side, one going to starboard. And the DMX control cable for the lights is also coming back here. So I decided to run that to starboard along with the center light. And I'll show you why once we get in the hole. But just the layout of my cable runs in the bilge just tend to head towards starboard. So just to make things neater, that's the way we're going to do it. So I'm going to get started in the hole, and I'm going to switch to the GoPro again, and you guys can just speed through watching me get all these cables hooked up. Looks like it should be nice and easy. Like I said, the screw down Wago terminals are perfect for this. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I would forget something like this, I'm going to take off the compression caps and slide them down each cable. Because what I would probably end up doing, and I probably wouldn't do this on film, I'd have to redo it, but I'd forget to put the caps on, get everything wired up, and then say, oh, the caps are missing. So I'm going to put the caps on now, then get the wiring done, and then we'll see what we got after that. Once this is wrapped up, we can move into the center console and do the Ocean Bridge gateway, which should be a breeze. At least that's what I'm planning. Probably should have mentioned this in the last video, but I just wanted you guys to see inside the box. So these are the compression caps I'm going to pull off and slide down each cable. What we have inside of this box here is the DMX in. This is the DMX control line coming from the Ocean Bridge gateway from the center console. This will be the DMX control line going out to the port side box. This is where we have this is our starboard side light. This will be our center light. And this is where our 12-2 cable is going to connect to give us power to each one of these boxes. And we'll repeat the process on the port side. So just so you know what's going on, if I'm not talking on the next video, because I think we're going to do it at high speed, because it's probably going to take me a while to get all these cables cut and lined up, but I just wanted you to know what we were doing. But this is what the inside of the Ocean LED DMX control box looks like. Nice simple setup that makes life really easy. And then we have to remember, since we'll be taking DMX out of here and going into the port side unit, we're going to have to flip this terminator on when we're done, because you got to turn the terminator on the last unit. So right now they come factory defaulted out of the box to off. Whenever you get to your last unit, whatever the last leg of the run's going to be, that terminator gets turned on. All right, guys, we made it. So now we're in the console, getting ready to install the Ocean Bridge, or Ocean LED Ocean Bridge, and this is the HTML5 server. So what we know, everything went good in the back. I did not mount the boxes yet. You just saw me wire them. Reason being, I'm going to leave them out because that hole is so difficult to get into. I don't want to put them up and find out I did something wrong. I don't think I did, but once I get the HTML5 server installed and we can fire everything up and get it running, we'll confirm everything's working, and then I'll go clean up and put things away because I got wire tie stuff to do. So we have this. This is going to go in the center console here. So just so you guys know, being a test and demo boat for Furuno, this boat has a lot of equipment on it. So I'm not going to be able to put it out here in the open that's easily accessible. It's not going to be difficult to access, but I just don't have room. You can see we just have so much stuff. I mean, this is my Enemy A2000 network. So we got 4, 8, 12, 16, and that's just down here. We have another 4 gang up in the top electronics box. So we have a lot going on as far as also have 5 fish finders and 3 MFDs. So a lot of stuff. So my plan is I'm going to put this up inside of the console. But I will get some good pictures or some good video once I get it up there. So just to go over it with you one more time, we did run our DMX cable. This is running all the way to the back of the boat and going to the starboard side Ocean LED DMX junction box. This is going to be our control line, which is going to connect to the HTML5 server right here. Okay, we also have our Enemy 2000 power. So once I get that back in there, I don't have my Enemy 2000 cable ran yet. But we'll bring it down and it will come over here. We might bring it this way, but we're going to come over here and tie into our Enemy A2000 backbone. We have an Ethernet cable port. So right here we have our hub 102, and I have another hub 102 back where this is going as well. If I do choose to run audio, for me it's going to be nice and easy. All of my JL audio wires are running right here. So I could just do probably a 1 foot 3.5 to 3.5 to get an input to this if I want to. And that's pretty much it. So we will begin. Oh, also, here are our 2 power wires. Now, they will not go to the Ocean Bridge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take them to the original switch on the switch panel to feed it. One thing I realized is the original lights, because they were smaller, only both lights together drew less than 5 amps. So because I have 3 lights now, we're going through a 3-light system that's much brighter with each light individually drawing 5 amps for a total of 15 amps. I'm still going to be able to use the same switch to turn these underwater lights on and off, but I need to get a relay. So I can just feed it from one switch. The relay will turn on, power both lights. So the relay will be here early next week, and we're heading into the weekend anyway, so I'm just going to get the Ocean Bridge gateway installed. And like I said, I have my 2 12-volt runs that will tie to the relay. I have already cut this relay panel out. I'll add a 4th relay to it. And then once we get that done, we're going to get to see what it looks like. And I'm getting really excited about it now because for the most part, the hard work is done outside of the cleanup part. But yeah, things are looking really good. And I think you're going to like what you see once these lights turn on. I haven't seen them myself yet. I did get to see them at the boat show. Because the Ocean LED guy showed me, and I was just amazed by the amount of control and the brilliance and just everything about him is really good. And controlling it from Furuno's Command Center on our new TZTXL MFDs works really good. So let's get to it. We'll get this last piece installed, and then we'll get to see how it works. Okay guys, that wasn't too bad. Everything is now officially installed. I got the Ocean Bridge HTML5 server back up in its place. Can't really show you the angle from here, but I will show you. So what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to get everything cleaned up, make it look better, and give you guys a walkthrough showing you the installation location of the Ocean Bridge server, the 2 DMX junction boxes, and then of course the 3 lights. And then we'll just briefly talk about the control the TZT3 or TZtouchXL MFDs have over these Ocean LED lights going through the HTML5 server, the Ocean Bridge, and I think you're going to find it's pretty cool. Okay, so we're back in the center console, and this is where the Ocean LED Ocean Bridge is. If you look back there, see a couple of hubs to your left, the JL Audio HTML5 in the center, and the Ocean Bridge gateway is right there behind our Dometic electric steering. That's how tight things are on the boat. We just have so much stuff on this test boat that it's getting harder and harder to find a place to put things, but we always do. So that is where the Ocean Bridge HTML5 server is connected to our entire boat network, Ethernet network, and our NMEA 2000 network. NMEA 2000 just to get power though. So now let's go back and take a look at the two-way DMX junction boxes and see how they finished up. Okay, so just like the HTML5 server, we had to find a place to get it back here. So there's the starboard side box that has both the starboard side light and the center light going to it, along with the connection from the HTML5 server. Then we follow our DMX line across to the port side box, and this has the DMX control line to the input along with the port side light. And that's everything back here tied up. I got a few more wire ties I got to throw on, but everything's in place. I'm ready. I'm really excited now, so I want to test it, make sure everything's working. Let's take a look at the lights. Okay, the MFDs are booted up. I have 2 TZT16Xs in my dash, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the Ocean LED via Furuno's Command Center. So since we never had it on before, the first thing we got to do is create a page. Simply going to tap on Furuno, select create a new page, and as you see, if we look down here, any Command Center apps will show up in our icon list. So we'll just tap Ocean LED, and now we have a full Ocean LED control page. Say OK. There we go. Boots right up. And now, I've already created a scene because I wanted to make sure everything works. So the first thing you're going to have to do is go into the menu and discover your lights. I went in, discovered all 3 lights, no problem at all. And then I just created my first scene. So right now, I haven't gotten too deep into it. As you see, I just have one zone, which consists of my 3 lights, and one scene. And I set my scene up to be a cycle, and we're doing red, green, blue, and white. So we'll just go ahead and tap the screen to turn it on. You see it's now turned on. Now, let's go take a look at the back of the boat, make sure we're cycling through our light colors. So these are definitely going to be a little bit bright. Cycling through our 4 different colors. So port, center, and starboard. Everybody's working perfectly. I got to tell you guys, these lights are just really, really spectacular. I can't wait to get the boat out on the water and see how they work there. I think they're going to work fantastic. But man, so far I am just impressed. It was a nice, easy install. It wasn't really too bad. A little time consuming pulling cables, but on a boat it always is. But as far as simplicity of install goes, this was pretty simple. So next step is to get these get the boat dropped into the water. I don't think I'm going to have any leaks because I did have 4200 come out around the entire light on the entire circle. Of course, that was one of the longest things, cleaning that excess 4200 up, but everything turned out perfectly. And now we have a new set of Ocean LED lights that look fantastic. Can't wait to try them.